Sir, I have shared 3 o'clock slot.
No, that I know.
Yes.
Ganesh is there. Ganesh is presenting today, and Monica is already doing. Uh, but it's still slot. Right? You are
Sir,
doing
4
from
to 5
3,
I will do.
4 to 5. Okay. So create the and share the session.
Sure, sir, sure, I will do.
So Anshul is now ready, and who else? One more. I missed. Vidyasagar, are you free today?
Yes, sir.
So you can also present as you will lecture today.
Okay, sir.
So that we'll cover 4 today.
Okay, sir.
So Monica, you can start now.
Yes, sir. Okay, good morning to all. So, I am Monica Verma, Assistant Professor, School of Civil Engineering. Today we are going to study about Advanced Construction Project Management as it is zero lecture. So, we will start with the basic and the assessment model, course detail and book
मोनिका
details.
मोनिका
Yes, sir.
तुम
PPT is
Yes,
not
sir.
visible.
तुम हमें ऐसे ट्रीट करो जैसे हम फर्स्ट ईयर के स्टूडेंट, ठीक है? तुम ये मत सोचो कि हम फैकल्टी बैठे हैं।
मैम पीपीटी नहीं विजिबल आपकी, ब्लैक आ रही है।
नहीं शो हो रही है
नहीं,
अभी।
अब हुई।
तो जैसे जैसे ये मान के चलो कि तुम फर्स्ट ईयर, हम सब फर्स्ट ईयर के स्टूडेंट्स हैं, बैठे हुए हैं, तुम्हें सुन रहे हैं, ठीक है? तो अगर डांटना पड़े तो डांट
Okay,
भी
sir.
दो, ठीक है? और इफ वी आर डिस्टर्बिंग यू जस्ट ट्रीट अस लाइक दैट।
Okay, sir. पीपीटी अभी शो हो रही है सबको?
पीपीटी शो हो रही है।
फुल स्क्रीन पे ये शो नहीं हो रही है,
हाँ,
सिर्फ ऐसे
रहने
ही
दो, कोई बात
नहीं,
नहीं।
मुझे दिख रही है, फुल स्क्रीन करो। इसको
फुल
स्लाइड
स्क्रीन। ये देखो
हाँ, इट विल टेक टाइम,
शो हो रही है।
अभी टाइम लगेगा। मेरे को ज़्यादा ही टाइम लग रहा है शायद।
कुछ इशू है क्योंकि ये फुल स्क्रीन पे जैसे ही कर रही हूँ वो शो नहीं हो रही, ऐसे
हाँ,
शो हो रही है।
ठीक है, इन सब इश्यूज को ना रिजॉल्व कर लो। अभी ये सब इशू जो है समझ में आते हैं जब सेशंस होते हैं। तो एनीवे यू स्टार्ट लाइक दैट, चलते हैं।
Okay. Okay. So as it is a zero lecture, so we will study about that why we are studying this subject and what are the outcome of this subject. So advanced construction project management. So first we will go through the book details, which book students have to refer for this subject. First is Construction Project Management, Planning, Scheduling and Controlling by K.K. Chitkara. It is a textbook we have to refer. Second is Construction Management Fundamentals, Knuston and it is also a textbook. Next is also Construction Project Management Theory and Practice Jha, a reference book which we can follow for this subject. And next is Project Planning, BC Panamia reference book. This book is basically for CPM and PERT network techniques. We can prefer for this third unit, this book. So these are the book details which we have to refer for this subject. After that, there is a course assessment model, that which assessment will be there and how many marks are distributed for each thing. First is attendance. There will be 5 marks for the attendance. As per the attendance of the student, the marks will be distributed. If it is 90 to 100%, the full 5 marks will be given, and if it is 80 to 90%, 4 marks. Like that, the attendance marks are distributed. And after that, there is a continuous assessment 2 out of 3, which is having 25 marks. Now here this time we are considering 3 assignment, out of which 2 best is going to be counted. So 25 marks will be there, and then midterm exam for which 20 marks are there, and end term exam for which 50 marks will be there. So total 100 marks will be there, which depend upon these marks breakup. After that, overview of course. So we have 6 unit in our course. So each unit include different topics. So first unit we will deal with the basics of project management. That what is project management? Why we need the project management? What is a project? What is construction? What are the phases of the project? And who are the people who are involved in any project, what is the project life cycle, roles of project management consultants, project management process. These all details we will study in first unit, which means we will deal with the basic fundamental of the project management, that what exactly it is and what are the parameters which are included in project management. After that, we will go to the next unit, which is construction project management. Means where we will study in detail about the parameter which are related with the construction stage, like site mobilization, demobilization aspect, various resource management based on funds availability, coordinating, communicating, reporting techniques, project clearance procedure, documentations. So we will study about that. What are the different things which are associated with the construction process? What are the aspect? What are the financial aspect, reporting aspect, documentations? All these things we will study in the construction project management in second unit. And training of construction managers, that why the training is required to train the managers, so what is the role of these parties involved in constructions. So these two units will be involved the basics of the construction project management, all the parties involved in the project management, all the construction techniques, construction materials, resources, everything which is basic. After that, we will continue with the unit third, which will deal with the project scheduling. Now, what is scheduling? Scheduling means that we will prepare different schedules like material schedule, labor schedule, financial schedule, construction schedule, organization schedules, different type of schedules we will prepare for smooth work of the construction. So now, construction scheduling, why it is important and how we can schedule the work. There are different methods: Monte Carlo simulations, duration compression, crashing, time cost trade-off, mass hall diagrams, production curves, line of balance method, resource constraint scheduling, schedule control, scheduling with uncertain duration. So we will study about that. What is scheduling? And once we will know about the fundamentals of the construction management, we will see that now what are the techniques through which we can complete our construction work within the desired cost, within the time, and within the quality. So for that, now we will deal with the main details of these techniques, where we can control our main three critical factors of the construction work, which are cost, quality, and time. In any project, these are the constraints. If our time will increase, our cost will increase. So we have to now check that what are these techniques through which we can reduce our time period, we can complete our work on time within the budget which is allocated for any construction project. So the scheduling is one part of that without scheduling, our work cannot be completed within the given time, because scheduling means the arrangement of the activities in such a manner that our construction must be completed within the budget, within the time, and by desirable quality. So we will these are the techniques we will study, that what is this Monte Carlo simulation, what is the crashing, what is trade-off mass hall diagrams, production curves, line of balance method. These all methods work to achieve these three constraints without compromising with the time, cost, and quality. So that is the first method in detail, that is scheduling, project scheduling. So we will prepare different schedule and we will see how we can manage the constraints. After that, we will move to the fourth unit, that is work studies and network techniques. Now, we have known though that we will deal with the fundamental part, we will do scheduling. Now for that also we have to know that what are the different network techniques which we can use to reduce or to can where we can know before starting the work, we can be known about that how much time is required for the work and how we can reduce the time, right? So in the network techniques, these are the in advanced construction project management subject, these network techniques are very much important. And also from the test point of view, in the different government test or different private sectors, it has this technique is required. And even in practical field, we need to know about these techniques. Even we have to use the software to prepare the schedules, to prepare the charts or Gantt charts or network diagrams, to know about that how much time is required for any project, what is the progress of our project, and where we can reduce the time period, where the activities can be conducted simultaneously, how I can do the the crashing of the activities. So these all things will be done by network techniques. So these are very important. This whole unit is revolve around these techniques. So there are two major techniques we use, CPM and PERT, critical path method, and program evaluation review technique. So these two techniques are very much important, in which we will study that what is predecessor, what is a forwarding event, what is a preceding event, how we used to find the earliest possible time in which we complete the project, or the latest possible time we can, how much time we have to delay the project. So we will count these things by using these network techniques. So it is very important to know about the CPM and PERT, and we will know that where we can use the critical path method and where we can use the program evaluation review technique. They both have different application. So we will see about this, that in civil engineering field, even in construction field, which method is most suitable, where we can use which method, and what will be the benefit of using these method, how we can save our time by doing calculating things manually. We can just use a software, and we can use these network techniques to calculate our times and the duration of the project, and the progress of the project can also be checked by this. And it is like a management. The network techniques will help you to manage the project in more efficient manner. So we will deal in unit 4 regarding the network techniques, whatever work measurement, flow charts, work breakdown structures, these all things will be covered in 4th unit. So these are the detailed part of the detailed study about the construction project management techniques. After that, we will go in the unit 5th regarding network techniques associated with the cost and time estimation and project controlling. Now, we have known that, okay, we have different techniques to count that how many duration, how much time duration, and how much cost is required for our project. Now we also have to study about controlling, because if there is no any thing like project controlling, our cost will be over, our cost will exceed the limit, our time will exceed the limit. So, and quality will be substandard. So we need to monitor and control our work also, because that is the main definition of the management, is like planning, organizing, coordinating, and controlling all the activities to achieve a one common goal. So different organization will work to achieve one particular goal. So that is the definition of management. So here, if we want to manage the whole construction work, we have to go for monitoring and controlling, because we have to check whether the work is going as per our plan specification. We have to monitor, we have to inspect on regular basis, weekly basis, so that we can achieve the work within the stipulated time, quality, and cost. For that, this project controlling is important. So we will study that by in project scheduling, how we can control, in resource allocation, resource leveling, how we can control these three constraints, and multi-resource allocation, optimal scheduling, project updating, type of time estimate. These all things, updating is a very important parameter in controlling. So we can check that by controlling, we can check that how much we are lacking behind, how much we have to fast up our work, and which parameter are required, so that we can control the project and we can complete it within these three constraints. So this is regarding the controlling part. We will study about in unit 5. After that, we will move on with 6th unit, which is project risk management and project procurement management. Now, all the things are there, like, okay, there are three consultants, we will do scheduling, we will use network techniques, we will use project controlling to complete the work. Okay, now the other aspect of construction management is risk management. Why? Because construction is a very include very much parameters and different activities which are completely different with each other, and different many accidents are involved with the construction. So risks are there, anything can happen, any accident can happen with the scaffold, with the ladders we are using, with the formwork we are using. So any accident may happen. So now for that also we need to manage, because in construction the accident rate is very much high, and our industry, construction industry is largest industry after agriculture. So we have to make sure that even any major accident will happen, it will result into the time increase of the project. It will affect the cost. It will affect the quality of the work also. Why? Because if major accident will happen and workers or laborers are working there may get injured, or and many deaths can happen, or if the form work will form work will get destroyed, or maybe because of any reason the form work will get destroyed. So what can happen, our whole work will get affected, because we need to again check that what are the reasons for the accident. We have to wait until the site will again at the normal conditions, and it will increase the completion time of the project. So we have to make sure that what are the different project risks are there. We will identify one by one that with each activity or even with each event, what type of risks are there. And then after identifying the risk, we will see that what parameter we can take to reduce the risk, because we cannot mitigate the accident. Accidents are not known, but what we can do, we can be ready that if any accident will happen, we should have those parameters which we should follow at that time, so that we can reduce the impact of accident. That's what we can do. So that is the main part of this project risk management, that we will identify the different hazards which are associated with the construction, and we will see that okay, we are going to construct this project, these are the risks which can happen, which can arise during the construction, and these are the methods which we will use to mitigate those risks. Like we can have now, when the laborers and workers and the staff is working in the construction site, we can have personal protective equipments, that these equipment must be mandatory at the site, so that each and every person should bear the personal protective equipment, that any accident, minor accident will happen, the workers and the staff who's working in the site, we have a safe side. So that is the one example, that we should wear the personal protective equipment at the site. So right, like that, we don't have to ignore these things. We have to make sure that we are ready for any risk or any accident which will arise due to any circumstances. So we have to ready and we have to control that thing. So next is project procurement management. Now there are different procurement, different resources we are using, material, money, machinery, different resources are involved in any construction project, different parameters are there. So we have to also make sure that we have to manage the procurement cycle also, which suppliers we are going to, from where we are going to buy the material, what are the inventory valuation, what is life cycle costing, from starting of the project to the end of the project, how much life cycle cost is there. So these are parameters are going to be included in our procurement management, that how much finance is going to be there, and which parameter we have to take care in procurement of the material, and the sources we are using, and what is this planning which is required for the procurement when we are going to purchase any resource, or what is value management. So these 6 units combine the whole details about the advanced construction project management. So we will study one by one about each and every topic, that how these units are related to the practical field, where we can use these methods, where each topic is related to the our practical field of construction, where we can use that, right, where it is applicable. So we will study one by one each topic in detail with the upcoming lectures. So these are the 6 units which combine this syllabus. But we will deal with the fundamental, then we will deal with the next part, that what are the basics, what are the phases of the project, what is the crashing of the project, what are the network techniques which we have to use to reduce the project cost of the project, or even complete the project within the given time, given budget and given quality parameters. And then we will deal that how we can control these 3 constraints, how we can manage the risk, and how we can manage the procurement of all the resources we are using in our construction work. So construction work can be any, but any type of construction is there. These 6 units, these 6 parameters, and these 6 major topics are required to manage the work in such a way that we can achieve our project within the given budget and time and quality. So for that we need these parameters. Okay, so now continue with the next. Now with the basics only. Today I will only give the basics, that what is a project, what is a construction. So as the subject name as the construction project management, first we should be known about that what is a project. We are saying that we are doing a construction project, or residential building project, or a industrial building project, or a dam project, or a normal project we are doing. normal word. We used to say a word project. So what exactly it is? How a construction project is different from any other project? So what is a project? It is an individual or collaborative enterprise that is carefully planned to achieve a particular aim. Planned set of interrelated tasks to be executed over a fixed period and within certain cost and other limitations. A temporary endeavor undertaken to create a unique product or service. Now we can see how the other projects are different with the construction project. That for a construction project, we have it can be done that one single enterprise is working toward that project, or different enterprises, maybe public or private sector is working together, or different private sectors are working together to achieve one common goal. Means any big construction project, a mega construction project is there, like a dam construction, hydropower construction project, or a residential, multi-story residential building construction. So any construction where the enterprises are working to complete that project having one goal, having same goal. Even the public and private sector is working on a highway construction project. So they are having a one common goal, that is highway construction, and where the different planned set of interrelated tasks, means different activities will be involved, and those activities will complete the project within a given time period, given budget, and given quality parameter. Other limitations being where different restrictions will be there, that this project must be completed within 5 years, within this 50 lakh budget, and like that there will be a limit, there will be a there will be a restriction that this project must be completed within. Now the project name, which is having a proper beginning and ending, which is having a one initial point and one ending point, which is having a time period, which is having a desired cost. So we have to do that project within that given time period. That is what a project. The project is a unique endeavor which is having a initial, beginning, and ending. So that initial, beginning, and ending is known as anything which is having a initial, beginning, and ending. That is a project which is having a time limit. Okay. So it is a temporary endeavor. It is not a permanent thing, because we know this project we have to construct. I have to construct a residential building within 5 years, within 1 crore budget. So this is a project that I have to complete this thing within this time period, within this budget, and certain quality parameter I have to maintain. So this is what a project means. Here also we can say a project is a temporary endeavor undertaken to create a unique product or service or a result. Like if I am constructing a highway, so if any company is constructing, or any sector is constructing the highway construction or dam construction, what is the purpose behind that? If a highway is getting constructed, means to provide the communication between two places. So that is the unique product or result of that thing. Now, if we are constructing dam, what is the purpose behind that? Constructing a dam. Purpose is to provide a reservoir to store the water. So different things we are doing, different activities of construction will be there to provide a one ultimate result for the people or for the society. That is a project. Project work is different from operational work. A project comes to an end either when its objectives are met or when the sponsor decide to terminate the project. Now project will get end when the objectives are met. We will decide in the beginning that which type of construction we are doing, what our objectives are. If I am constructing a residential building, my objective is I want to construct this residential building within 5 years and or within 2 years with this definite amount of budget and with these quality parameters. So my objectives are to complete the project within this time period, within this budget. So, or the project can only end when these objectives are met, or when the owner will terminate the project, will close the project, then only the project will end. So this is what a project is known as. A simple project which is having a temporary endeavor, which is having a beginning and ending, and having a given fixed time period, budget, and other limitations. Then we will continue with, now we know what is a project. Okay, so now what is construction? So we used to say that we are constructing this residential building, dam construction, any other construction, multi-story building construction, highway construction. So what is this construction means? So construction means whatever plans and specifications are there, we have decided in the initial stage, we have planned about, we will convert that into a physical structure or facilities. Means whatever plans and specifications that, okay, this is the architectural design of my residential building, these specifications I want, in this way I want my house. So whatever you have planned, whatever you have imagined in your imaginations, and whatever the specifications you have mentioned, construction means converting that imagination and planning into the reality, into the physical structure and facilities. That is what a construction means whatever plan and specification you have prepared, you will convert that plan and specification, those drawings you have prepared, into the physical structure at the ground. That is what construction means. So coordination of all resources to complete the project. Now for construction, I need we need different resources. So what type of resources are required, that will depend upon the type of construction we are doing. On schedule, within budget, according to specified quality standards, in a safe environment. These are the 4 units we are covering here. One unit is on scheduling, right? That project must be scheduled in such a way that it should be completed within the time. Schedule means arrangement of activities in such a way to complete the project on time. So we will coordinate all the resources to complete the project so that our project will be on schedule. Your 3rd unit is on scheduling. Within budget, we will do the project controlling. So within budget, the project must be completed according to the specified quality standards. There will be quality checks for materials, for machines you are using, for the method you are using for construction. There are quality checks as per the Indian Standard Codes or ASTM. So we will perform the test, we will perform the quality checks, we will perform the inspection work to make sure that our work is within the quality standards. So construction has to be checked for quality standards. Then we have to make sure that construction work is going on in a safe environment, as the next 6th unit deal with the risk management. That what mean is that we have to provide the risk management method, and we have to provide the safe working environment. So construction means we have to follow these 4 things, and we have to convert the imagination into reality. So by using these 4 things, by using resources, and by using money, by using time estimates, or by quality checks, we have to make sure that our company is converted into a physical structure or facility within the time period. Deliverables can meet scope requirement. Whatever scope we are now, when we used to plan in the initial stage, we always have the future result for that. That yeah, after 5 years, my construction work will look like that, and these are the benefit I will get after my project completion. So those deliverables can meet the scope requirement. That is what construction is. That when you will complete the construction, whatever objective or whatever imagination you have in the planning stage, that should match with the deliverable or the end result of completion of the project must meet with those that planned work. So that is what that scope requirement must be meet with the deliverables we have imagined or planned in the initial stage. So that is what a construction is. Means in a normal way, it is just conversion of our planning or specification or our drawings into the reality, into the physical structure and facilities by using all the resources, depend upon the type of construction we are doing. So that is what a construction is. So we have done that. What is a project? What is a construction? Now we know what is the construction and project. Now, what are the resources which are required for any project? We all are aware that if it is a construction project, so first primary thing is materials. We need materials to complete the work. Cement, sand, aggregate, admixture, plasticizer, minerals, all these things are required to complete the project. So materials are the primary thing. Bricks, steel, aluminium, everything depend upon the type of construction we are doing. So materials are the major part for any construction work. So after that, we need machines to start for the excavation work, for the form work, for any vibrator work. We need the machines. So different type of machine will be there as per the need of construction work. So materials, machines, manpower. We need labor to perform the work. Manpower, the labor is required so that the work will be completed. After that, we need the major part, money, finance, budget. So these 4M is the major resources we required in the construction project. So 4M we have to remember, materials we have to use, machines we have to use, manpower is required, money is required. These are the resources we have to invest in a project when we want to complete our imagination into reality. These are the resources we need. So materials, as I told you, bricks, stone, aggregate, sand, cement or steel, these are wood, These all materials are required to complete the construction project. After that, different machines are required, dumpers are required, excavators are required, graders are required, transit mixture is required. So these all machines are required to complete the project. After that, manpower, laborers are required, and not only laborer actually. In manpower, we include all the people who are going to work toward the project: engineer, architects, consultants, designers, or different engineers, structural engineers, geotechnical engineers, and the laborers. So, too many people are involved in a construction project. These are all many parties who are included. So, these parties are the manpower, means there is manpower resources are required, labor are required, skilled, unskilled labor is required. So these all people are required to complete the project. So it is also a resource. Then money. Money is the major thing. Budget is required. So for any project, budget is the major part. We have to require. We need to have a good finance for the project. So whatever budget is allocated to us, we have to complete the project within that budget. So budget is required, material is required, and your machinery is required. Manpower is required. These four, and we have to remember our resources for any construction project. These four are required. So project, construction resources. After that, management. As the subject name is Advanced Construction Project Management. Now we know what is a project, what is construction, what are the construction resources. Now the management part. Now what is a management and what are its functions? Management is the process of planning, organizing, staffing, directing, and controlling. These are the functions of a project. Management means we will coordinate all the activities of the construction in such a way, in a teamwork, that we will achieve the common desirable goal of the construction. So we all will be work together in a team so that our construction project will get completed. Whatever limitation we have set, within those limitations, our project will get completed. For that, we need the functions of management. Now, how we will manage? What is this management? How we will provide this management to our project so that our project will reach to the heights we need to. So it is the process of planning. First, what we need. Planning is the basic of any construction project, because if our planning is sound, all the work will work smoothly. And planning is the most time consuming part, because if our planning, we have to invest our 80% time to the planning. Other 20% can relate to the completion of the work smoothly if our planning is sound and effective and smart approach is given to planning. So we need to work, we have to do the investigation, we have to do the surveys, we have to gather the data, and then after, by studying all the details of the project we are going to start, we have to make sure that we have planned in each and every parameter, that how much material is required, how much budget is required, how much time, calculation of time and cost in a accurate way and a precise way is required. So our planning is the main important part of any management. That first, our planning must be very good and effective. If planning is good, all the other parameters will fall into place. Then organizing. We will organize the different resources for the project. Then we will staff. We will recruit the staff, like the skilled labor, unskilled labor, engineers, consultants, all the architectures, designers. We will staff. We will recruit the staff. We will direct them, provide the guidelines to them, that how guidance is required. High authorities are going to be there. Codes and standards are going to be there. So we will, those things will direct the people who are working in the management toward a common goal, that how we need to do our work, right? So guidelines and direction is important, and then controlling. So these five parameters are very much are the main parameter of the management. So management means we have to plan, we have to organize the work, we have to staff, we have to recruit the staff, we have to direct our staff, we have to control the parameter. Then only we can manage the three constraints of the any project. So first is planning. So in planning, as we can say, that create, think, vision, concept. So big ideas, good. So in planning means that imagination, the conception, the idea we have in planning. First we will plan, okay, what I want to construct actually. The owner will think about that, okay, I want to construct a mall, okay, or I want to construct a shopping mall, or any residential building, or any multi-story building, any building. So he will consult to the consultant, or he will go to the architecture, that okay, I have a plan in my mind, I have imagination, please convert that imagination into drawings. So architectural will do that. So then they will plan accordingly according to the owner. So different ideas. Planning means the conception of idea in our mind, imagination. Then we will plan. We will create a plan. Whatever imagination I have, I will convert into a plan. Okay, that's how I will construct. First, I want a one-story building, two-story building, three-story building. How many rooms I want in my, which type of architectural orientation I want, what type of interior I want. All these, whatever in the mind of owner, he will come go to the architecture and throw his all ideas to the architecture. He will plan according to his ideas. Then the different teams will be involved. And then the engineer is there, contractor is there. Contractor will plan that, okay, this work is there. Designer will plan that how many loads are going to be there, when moment, shear force, the all the details of reinforcement. Structural engineer will there, how many steel is required. Okay, so these are all details. After that, how many funds are required, how many time is required, how much time is required for the project. These all planning, how much resources are required. This all planning is required to complete the project. So first, the time must be invested in planning, and our planning must be smart, which is sound, approachable, and smart enough so that we can lead the other activities as per our planning. And as we have discussed about network techniques are the part of planning. We use our CPM and PERT techniques to plan our project, actually, to know about that how much time will be required and how I can reduce the time and which parameter can affect my project. These all things will be required in planning. After that, organizing. Now here we can say that the different people are distributed in different places. So we have to organize all as a team. So we have to make sure as a management, the second part of the management or second function of management is organizing. We have different resources. We have different resources and different people working in our organization. We have to organize all the people who are working in organization as a team so that all will work for one single common goal. It should not be like that one is working for a different goal, another is working for a different purpose, and like that everyone is distributed and nobody is aware about that what exactly to be done in their organization. So whenever the construction is going on, everyone must be aware about their role and responsibility, that which person is allocated with which responsibility, and that should be organized in a proper way, that okay, this person has given this role and responsibility. Like a structural engineer have to deal with the structural work to calculate all the load, bending moment, area, reinforcement details, all these things. And then a geotechnical engineer is there. He has to work with that, the soil investigations, the surveys, right? So whatever the soil parameters are there, properties of the soil, which strengthening techniques ability. Then our management people are there. Quality manager will be there. His role and responsibility is to check the quality of the work going on or the construction, to perform the checks, to perform the test on the material or the machines which are going to be used. So organizing means organize the role and responsibility of each person working in the organization or in the construction project, so that everyone must be clear about their role in the organization or in the construction, so that they will give their 100% efficiency towards that. So proper organization of all the people. There should no any doubt about the responsibility of one people, or there should be no doubt that which person has to approach which authority. So there should be a clear line organization where each people has to know that which person has to work for which responsibility and to whom they have to approach if they will find any difficulty. So proper organization, a proper organized structure should be there for all the people working in the project. Then staffing. Now, when the people are going to be recruited in the organization for the construction, now if any new construction work is going on, we have to recruit different engineers, site engineer, quality engineers, and geotechnical engineers, structural engineers, design engineers. So these people are going to be recruited. So now you can see here some people are just wrong with the cut mark, and some are with the right tick. So why it is so? We will recruit through the interview processes, through written test, we used to recruit the people. So we will see that which person is perfectly fit to our role or responsibility. We have decided for a person, like for a structural engineer, for a geotechnical engineer, we will interview the person, or the organization will interview the person, or conduct the written test, and they will make sure that best person for the role and responsibility must be recruited. So skilled and unskilled labor we have to recruit for any construction project. So on the basis of our interviews and written test, we will decide that the person who has the ability to do the work must be recruited, right? So right person should be at the right place, right? So right person which is having the abilities to complete the work, which is having the ability to deal with the work, should be recruited. So staffing must be very fair, and a fair approach must be given, that right people should be at the right place when the work is going on and when the work is going to be started. So that is what means we have to staff, we have to recruit the staff for our project. That is the next part. So staffing should be good, and staffing should be done in a precise manner, because these are the people you are recruiting who are going to work for your organization. So there should no any it should not be taken lightly. It should be taken as a very important part of the organization, because these people are the ultimate result, are going to result into the achievement of the project. So these people must be recruited in a very right way, and the right people should be at the right place. So this is how we can manage our project. Actually, these planning, controlling, staffing, directing, these all the parameter we have to focus on to manage our project. Then directing. Now you can see one person is there in a red dress, and who is just picking the hand of others, and one by one they are approaching with him. So directing means the authorities who are going to provide the guidelines, who are going to provide the standards for the people who are working in the organization, like top level management, middle level management, lower level management is there in any organization. So there should be proper direction to the employees who are working in the organization, because proper guideline is very much important. Lack of directions can result into a delay in the project completion. If there is one between the different employees working in the organization, then there are chances that because of miscommunication or because of lack of data, lack of direction, lack of communication, the project will get delayed. Because when the person is not even aware that what do I have to do and which person I have to ask for this work, then there are chances your work, the efficiency of that person will get affected. So for that, it should be make sure proper direction must be there to people working in the organization, and they should know that which person they have when there is any issue regarding their work. So direction is very important, that the direction of the organization should be right, so that the employees who are working for that organization must obey those directions and guidelines to achieve the project in their set guidelines, or to achieve the project within the stipulated time and budget. So direction is very much important. Then controlling, engineer, planner, maintenance, controlling. So you can see the different circles are there, that controlling is very much important. Even in a if there, now we can see just a tiny example, that if there will be any mistake in the design detail and the construction will be done, then it will be a long lasting mistake, and we have only two options: either dismantle the work, again construct it, or just leave the work as it is. So it will, after some year, the work will get dismantled it's by own, because of any weathering agencies or because of any effect. So maybe during earthquake. So make sure controlling is a very important parameter of the management, because we need to manage the people who are working. We have to control the people who are working. Control doesn't mean that we have to tell them restrictions or anything. Control means parameters, that proper design details should be free from any error. There should be no room for errors, and there should be proper precision when we are performing the design or structural details. And when we are doing the construction, even in the formwork, even there should not any, we should not take it lightly, that proper control measure must be there, that formwork must be at the good quality, material must be used for the formwork, scaffold, ladders should be of good quality, any material we are using be within control standards. No any substandard material must be used. The planner must have the full details of that, what exactly we are going to do. Engineer control means that he has to control that all the parameter, material testing, and site engineer is there, so he has to see that all the work is going as per the specified drawings, specifications, whatever working drawings we are using, design details are there. But now engineer has to control that whatever guidelines are provided by the structural engineer or the design engineer, that this construction, this column B must be constructed with these guidelines, those must be followed. There should be no mistake in setting the reinforcement. There should be no mistake in the that wrong diameter of the reinforcement you have provided, or the wrong stirrup you have provided. So reflective cover you forget to provide, or something like that. Any mishappening can be happen. We never know. So That's why we have to make sure that control must be there for these things, because once the mistake will be there in construction, there is no any undo button. Either we have to go in loss by dismantling the work, and if we will dismantle the work, we have to increase the cost, because obviously whatever work you have done, for that you are in loss. If it is in the wrong details, it has to be dismantled, and you will be in loss. Your time will affected, your cost will affected, your quality will affected. So you have to again construct that work, or you have to dismantle that work, or you can have a dispute with the owner of the project if the contractor is working. So it will lead to the increasement of the time or increase in the cost. So controlling is very much important parameter in any project and management, that we have to control these are things, that project must be in a controlled manner to achieve the project as per prescribed guidelines, as per the drawings, as per the design detail provided. We have to complete the project. For that, controlling is the only parameter. We have to perform the material testing. We have to make sure the work is going as per the prescribed drawings and details. Only that we can control the project budget and time. So controlling is very much important parameter, and each person who is associated with the organization has to work toward it. Then, so this is only the basic fundamental of the project, that what is a project, what is construction, what are the resources for construction project, and what is management, what are the function of management. It is just a definition part or the basic details about the course. Like as the subject name is construction project management, that's all I told you. Like what is construction, what is project, what is management. So I think it's very clear now that what we are going to study in detail. Already I have discussed with the 6th unit that we are dealing with the fundamental, then we will deal with the method we can use in the construction to achieve our project on time and quality and budget, and what network techniques can be there. So these all detail we will study in detail. So after that, after studying this course, what outcomes we will achieve? What will be the result after dealing with this subject? Through the course, we will able to learn. Course outcome 1 is identify better control of financial, physical, and human resources. First, we will be able to control the resources we are going to use in the project, because a huge amount of budget is required to buy the purchase the or to procure the resources also. So and huge amount of money is involved in the project, so we can't take a risk. When we will deal with this subject, we will have a better control that how we can manage our cost, how we can manage the resources which are going to be used in the project. So how we can reduce the resources, how we can use the optimum resources. So second outcome will be analyze different parameter to produce higher profit margin with low cost in the project. So we will see that by using different techniques, different method, how we can produce a higher profit even by reducing our cost in the project, right? So we will compare different network techniques used in the project handling. As I told you that there are two main techniques, CPM and PERT. We will see that which technique is having which application and which will best fitted and will give us a project for which type of a project which will give a best result. Then fourth outcome will be identify the various risks associated with construction industry. So after studying this subject, we will come to know that yeah, this type of risks can occur and we should have prepared before the construction work start, and what type of those risks can be. So we will study after, we will come to know after studying this subject. That is the outcome. Evaluate the best procurement method followed in construction industry. And after that, with the 6th unit, we will have outcome that we will be known about that which procurement method are there. If even then I'm going to purchase any material or I'm thinking about constructing anything, quickly I will get an idea that which procurement method we should follow, and what are the method we can follow to manage our project. So these are the outcome. The basic line is, the bottom line of this all subject is that we have to know that if we want to manage our project and we want to complete our project within the budget, within the quality, within the time period, management is the only part which we have to deal with, because planning is the important part, managing is the important part, staffing, directing, controlling, and network techniques. These all parameters are required if we want to complete our project within the constraints. So that's what the bottom line of this subject. So that's all. We will study about these all: project management, strategy, stages, leadership, communication, teamwork, success, budget, software, manager, method, control, documentation, inspire people. So these all things will be involved and revolve around this project management. So that's all we will discuss in the upcoming lecture. So that's all. Thank you. So we will start in the next lecture. Thanks.
Yeah, thank you, Monica. Monica,
Thank you,
great.
thank you, thank you.
Well done. I think
Thanks.
I had the best lecture listening for 1 hour. The
Thank you,
only
sir.
few suggestions that I'll give that uh, see whatever you started with that, no, what is project and other things. So you start with that. Hmm.
Okay.
And then you come to the course, that what are the units, because first we have to tell about the course, that, we have to tell to students about the course and why this course is important and why it is there in your curriculum.
Yes.
So whatever you explained, what is project, what is construction, and then management of resources, everything, it was well explained. The only thing is that it should come first. uh, you start
Okay.
with this construction project management, and then what is project, what is construction. You explain these things, and then after that,
Okay.
you tell to student that to cover these aspects, we have introduced this course called Advanced Construction Project Management in your curriculum, and these are the units of this course, and these units will cover all the aspects that has been uh, detailed in the lecture. And then after that, come to CA, and the breaking of this marks and other things.
Marks.
Yeah, and for attendance also you add one box like whatever is the criteria, no, for attendance. That also should be there in the screen. So that also you can do. And after that, I think rest all is fine. And then you can. So you start. I think if you go to the first slide. Can you just go to the first slide?
Yes, sir.
I will also seek input from other faculty members who listened
Yes,
to
sir.
this lecture.
Sir, first slide is visible.
Yeah, this is okay.
Visible,
Uh, this,
visible.
this is okay. You have your introduction. Even you can have your email ID and a mobile number also if you want, because these are all MTech students, so you can
Okay.
share your mobile number and email ID to them,
Yes.
so that they can get in touch with you whenever you want. Because see, and then this is zero lecture. Okay, this is good. Book details, you remove this VC Punmia. Okay, it doesn't give positive impression about the university, because
Okay, sir.
VC Punmia, he has written a lot of books on all subjects. So,
Okay.
and then you also write that which book will cover which unit. Okay,
Okay.
like all 6 units will be covered, or only third or fourth unit will be covered, like that. So whenever the book details are given, you can also mention that you will find the best part in this book, like best unit in this book is explained in this book, like that. So maybe you can add one more column, and you can ask that the unit covered. Sometimes some of the books are there that can cover all the units. Okay, there are books that cover only one or two units, and the rest of the units, like that. So unit coverage you can also add here. These things will come at the end. Book details, actually it comes at the end of presentation. Okay. Then this again, this assessment model will also come at the end.
Syllabus will also add the after you have told that project and construction. After
Yeah,
introduction
yeah.
part, I will add that.
Yeah, so you start from here. After that,
Project with this.
yeah, what is project? Okay, you start from here, and after that, rest of the things will come at the end, and book should be last. Okay, like book should be at the end. Should be the last slide. Rest all is
Yes, sir.
rest all.
After this, I will add.
Yeah, you can. No. You keep explaining these things. You have come to controlling, and after that,
Outcomes.
outcome. Okay, so outcome will
So
be.
after controlling, I will add that book detail. Sorry,
So
course details and
after controlling,
syllabus.
you can. After controlling, you can bring this slide also, project management. This slide that
Yes.
in the black. Okay, because this will be your closing remark.
Yes.
With this introduction, this course, Advanced Project Management, is introduced in the curriculum, and these are the units then you can show the units.
Syllabus will be there.
Syllabus you can show, and
Yes.
then you can give the marks distribution, and then you can give the
Book
book.
details
That
and of course outcome at the end.
and then the course outcome will be after the course introduction only. So after the course
Okay, इसके बाद.
introduction, after the course introduction, you can give the course outcome.
Okay.
Learning, you have not included
Okay, sir.
learning objectives. Learning objectives are not there in this. You also see that learning objectives is also present.
Actually, learning objectives I have not found in the syllabus. The outcomes were only there in the IP.
No, no.
So I have to introduce it by my own.
Yeah, if required, you can also include that.
I will add that.
Learning objective. What will be the learning objectives, and what is the course outcome? These two are the important aspects. I think others also enjoyed this session. Maybe they can also give some input if they want.
It was a nice presentation, well organized.
Thank you.
Yeah, it was well organized.
Yes, sir.
Sir, can,
Well
you,
organized,
sir, can you give one example of a difference between course outcome and learning objective? One example of this.
See, course outcomes are basically these are all. If you go through this NBA National Board of Accreditation, they give this definition of course outcome, because they do the mapping of this course outcome with this graduate attributes, and then program outcomes, then program specific outcomes, and then vision and mission of the university. Okay, so these course outcomes are basically the building bricks of a course. Okay, so every course has, because every course has 6 units. Okay, and what is the outcome of that unit? That should be the course outcome. Okay, that should be the course outcome. Learning objective is like the Monica, the way she said that this gives you the overall picture of a course. Like from this course, you are going to learn the जैसे मैं कहूँ कि अगर मैं बात करूँ एक अपने कोर्स की बात करूँ, ठीक है, कि जैसे मैं इस बार पढ़ा रहा हूँ अर्थ प्रेशर थ्योरी. तो अर्थ प्रेशर थ्योरी में मेरा जो लर्निंग ऑब्जेक्टिव होगा वो ये होगा कि हाउ टू एस्टिमेट द अर्थ प्रेशर फोर्स ऑन ए रिटेनिंग वॉल, एंड how to design a earth retaining structure and estimate the stability of earth retaining structure from overturning, sliding, and bearing capacity failure. That is the learning objective of this course. Have you understood?
Yes, sir.
So at the end of the course, you will be able to estimate the earth pressure on a retaining wall. You will be able to estimate the geometric design of a earth retaining structure, and you will be able to estimate the overall stability of earth retaining structure from overturning, sliding, and bearing capacity. Now, when I'm going through this course, so in that case, the first chapter maybe I'll be talking about the different types of retaining wall and understanding of different types of retaining wall. So my course outcome will be first understanding of or the knowing the types of gravity retaining wall. Types of retaining wall and the purpose of retaining wall. That is my outcome. Second will be different methods of estimating earth pressure on a retaining wall. So I will be using Rankine earth pressure theory. I will be using Kalman's graphical method. I will be using some other methods of estimating earth pressure on a retaining wall. Okay, so that is my course outcome. Objective मैंने क्या कह दिया कि you will learn how to estimate the earth pressure on a retaining wall. But now I will be detailing on that.
Like,
Methods of estimating the retaining wall, like Kalman graphical method, Rankine earth pressure theory, or Coulomb's method of estimating earth pressure on a retaining wall. Then estimating the stability of a retaining wall from with respect to overturning, with respect to sliding, and with respect to bearing capacity failure. That will be my third course objective. Is it not? Course outcome.
Yes.
And fourth can be designing a gravity retaining wall or designing a cantilever retaining wall from these criteria, from stability point of view and from structural point of view. So these are the course outcomes, and these things will be covered in the respective units. So overall, I can say that you will be able to estimate the amount of earth pressure. So learning objective is estimation of amount of earth pressure on a retaining wall. Understood?
Like after learning this course,
Yeah. Giving a complete picture that this particular course, in this particular course, earth pressure theory, you will be able to learn how you are going to estimate the earth pressure theory, how you are going to estimate the amount of earth pressure on a retaining wall. That is the learning objective. Understood?
Yes.
And COs means I will be explaining the methods of estimating, like earth pressure theory using Rankine method, Kalman graphical method, or using Coulomb method, like that.
Yes.
So in the same way, like in project management, you can say that how the project is managed. Okay, you will be learning on different aspects of project management, like management of material, management of that, like 4M. She explained material, machines, manpower, and
money.
So in one line, you can say that learning objective is to understand managing of these 4 resources that are involved in any construction project. अब उसके बाद डिटेलिंग उसकी होगी फर्दर कि हम कैसे जो है उसको मैनेज करते हैं, उसकी जो टेक्निक्स है, टेक्नोलॉजी है, जो तरीके हैं, उसका तुमने यूनिट बनाया है, और उस यूनिट के बेसिस पे जो चीज तुम कवर करते जाओगे उसका तुम कोर्स आउटकम लिखते जाओगे. तो नॉर्मली होता क्या है कि जितनी यूनिट्स होती हैं उतना ही कोर्स आउटकम होते हैं. कभी कभी ऐसा होता है कि जो फर्स्ट यूनिट होती है वो चूंकि इंट्रोडक्शन यूनिट होती है, तो मोर और लेस हम फर्स्ट यूनिट और सेकंड यूनिट को कंबाइन करके एक यूनिट जो है कोर्स आउटकम बना लेते हैं. कभी कभी 2 यूनिट का एक तो कोर्स आउटकम बनता है, तो तुम 2 यूनिट जब बनाते हो तब कहीं जाके एक कोर्स आउटकम कवर होता है. तो इट ऑल डिपेंड्स अपॉन द हाउ द कवरेज ऑफ द, जैसे सॉइल मैकेनिक्स में मैं बात करूँ ना, कोर्स आउटकम. अब सॉइल मैकेनिक्स में पहले मैं बात करता हूँ क्लासिफिकेशन ऑफ, we talk about the basic geotechnical properties, index properties and soil classification system. ये एक कोर्स आउटकम हो, ठीक है. ये हम कवर करते हैं फर्स्ट और सेकंड यूनिट में, है कि नहीं. तो कोर्स आउटकम क्या होगा? अंडरस्टैंडिंग ऑफ द बेसिक जियोटेक्निकल प्रॉपर्टीज एंड इंडेक्स प्रॉपर्टीज, एंड बेस्ड ऑन दैट soil classification system, evaluation of soil classification system, or how you understand that how the soil are classified based on these geotechnical properties. And then second course outcome will be, suppose I have taken seepage part, then seepage analysis will come. 1-dimensional seepage analysis, 2-dimensional seepage analysis, learning of approach, and then graphical method for estimation of, like that POs can be prepared. But when it comes to learning objective of this course soil mechanics is, you will be understand the mechanical behavior of soil under a slight loading condition, under externally applied load. So that is a learning objective. You are going to understand the soil as a mass and its behavior under externally applied load, and how the properties affect the performance or the behavior of the soil. That can be one-liner as a course object, learning object. Understood? I think I have spent much more time. That was
Understood.
fine.
Understood, sir. Understood.
Yes, done.
Good morning, Amit sir.
हाँ जी sir.
Good morning, sir.
Good morning.
A
बताइए.
very nice lecture from Monica ma'am.
हाँ जी,
Thanks, sir.
Thank you, Monica ma'am.
Thank you, sir.
One suggestion I would like to add here.
Okay.
You talked of 4 resources,
Yes, sir.
all 4M. But nowadays, time is also a resource.
Yeah.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Yeah.
That will be better. You discussed a lot about time and the completion of the project within time. But time is
Yes.
also a resource, so you should discuss. You should add it here, please. That
Okay,
will
sir.
be better. It's a suggestion,
I will
not to take otherwise. You
No,
have
no, sir. Obviously.
delivered a very nice lecture.
क्रॉस सीक्वेंसिंग का ध्यान, क्रॉस सीक्वेंसिंग, और ये सबके लिए है जो अभी
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Everyone can suggest for
हाँ,
zero
सब-
lecture.
हाँ, जीरो लेक्चर के लिए सबके लिए एक ही सजेशन है कि पहले यू टॉक अबाउट द कोर्स, व्हाई दिस कोर्स इज इम्पोर्टेंट एंड व्हाई इट हैज बीन इनकॉर्पोरेटेड इन योर करिकुलम, एंड देन
Yes.
आफ्टर दैट टू टॉक अबाउट द कोर्स लर्निंग ऑब्जेक्टिव, एंड यू टॉक अबाउट यूनिट एंड देन कोर्स आउटकम एंड देन असेसमेंट एंड देन suggested books. So this sequence should be followed
Yes,
by
yes. Yes,
everybody.
sir. Right. You
ठीक है, sir?
suggested very well.
हाँ जी.
Thank you for guiding us.
हाँ, ये सीक्वेंस सब लोग फॉलो कर लें. तो अभी हमारा नेक्स्ट सेशन जो है वो है, आई थिंक गणेश इज रेडी.
Yes, sir. 3 o'clock.
3 o'clock. अभी 12 बजे 11 बजे किसका है, किसी का है?
ठीक है।
नहीं, 11 बजे भी किसी ने टाइम दिया था मुझे. एक मिनट. अगर नहीं है तो फिर वी कैन क्लोज द सेशन, वी कैन मीट एट 3. ठीक है.
Yes, sir.
आई थिंक 10 से 11 तुम्हारा हो गया, और इसके बाद जो है अंशुल ने कहा है 4 से 5, और गणेश 3 से
सर
4
एक
कह रहा है.
क्वेश्चन मुझे ये पूछना था, अगर मंडे से क्लासेस शुरू हैं तो
हाँ,
जो मैसेज आया कल की गूगल मीट का लिंक वो करना है, शेयर करना है एचओडीज के साथ है, तो वो कैसे करेंगे, किसके साथ करेंगे? हमें तो
वो
हमारे पास तो
HOS
बच्चों
सर
की
एक गूगल
details-
शीट स्प्रेड कर देंगे, उस पे हम सब लोग जैसे चल रहा था वैसे
जैसे पहले
करेंगे.
कर रहे थे, जैसे पहले
हाँ.
कर रहे थे.
इट्स यूजुअल प्रैक्टिस.
नहीं वो तो कर देंगे सर, लेकिन जैसे मतलब
हाँ.
जो स्टूडेंट्स हमारे पास क्लास आने वाली है उसके बाद हमें
वो
कोई आइडिया
LPU
नहीं, बच्चों के साथ
LPU लाइव इज बेस्ट.
एलपीयू लाइव पे तुम्हारे सेक्शन बन गए होंगे ना, तुम्हारे सेक्शन में तुम एलपीयू लाइव, उस पे एलपीयू लाइव पे तुम शेयर कर दो वो गूगल मीट.
Yes, sections are updated, sir.
हाँ.
LPU live.
हाँ, सेक्शन अपडेट हो गया होगा.
Monica ma'am, your section will appear in LPU live. You can upload there your link.
so we have to only share the link, one link for 1 week.
Yeah,
ये-
yeah. No.
ये जैसे समर में कर रहे थे हम लोग. अच्छा, तुमने समर में क्लासेस.
Advance.
ओके, इस वजह से चैलेंज आ रहा होगा.
Sir, you don't need to create a daily links. They can be a one link
वीकली
used for daily. As
आपने-
per the
Only one
time-
link
Ah,
which can be used for all classes.
yeah. Schedule is there. You can see in the scheduling.
या
Today
इसमें
our
एक-
recurring meeting is there.
And you have to
इसमें-
upload the lecture also in 1 day advance.
हाँ. हेलो.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
देखो ऐसा ना, जो लोग समर टर्म में क्लासेस नहीं लिए थे उनके लिए थोड़ा चैलेंज आएगा इस चीज को
Yes, sir.
समझने
Yes,
में,
sir.
है कि नहीं. इसमें जो है आई थिंक वी फॉलोड द गाइडलाइन ना कि हम मैं ऐसा करता हूँ कि मैं गूगल शीट तैयार कर देता हूँ. जो फैकल्टी फर्स्ट ईयर की क्लासेस ले रहे हैं यूजी और पीजी में, ठीक है, उनको तो माई क्लास वाला वो करना है कि नहीं, यूज करना है. बट अदर देन फर्स्ट ईयर क्लासेस, सेकेंड ईयर थर्ड ईयर जो फोर्थ ईयर की क्लासेस हैं उसमें, नॉट सॉरी, फर्स्ट ईयर सेकेंड ईयर दोनों करना है ना, फर्स्ट ईयर सेकेंड ईयर दोनों
माय
करना है.
क्लास पे है, थर्ड
My
और
class
फोर्थ
पे
करना है गूगल मीट.
फोर्थ गूगल में मीट पे करना है, ठीक है. तो उसका जो तरीका है वो यही है, गूगल मीट पे यू कैन जनरेट द गूगल मीटिंग आईडी. वो तुम चाहे डेली बेसिस पे जनरेट कर सकती हो, चाहे रिकरिंग कर सकती हो, तुम पूरे हफ्ते एक ही आईडी को यूज कर सकती हो, ठीक है. और उसको जो है तुम अपने एलपीयू लाइव पे बच्चों के साथ शेयर कर दो अपने सेक्शन में. और वो दे विल कम एंड दे विल अटेंड.
Good morning, all.
ठीक है।
I have a question like, can like we generate one Google meeting and that can be used for the whole week?
हाँ, क्योंकि कुछ फैकल्टी ने मैंने ये देखा था कि वो रेकरिंग जो है वो आईडी जनरेट कर देते हैं, तो वो सेम आईडी जो है वो पूरे वीक चलती रहती है।
Okay,
सर
sir.
आई
We
वांट टू ऐड हियर, एक
we
आईडी को
confirm,
आप
sir.
ऑल ओवर पूरा सेमेस्टर चला सकते हो, एक ही आईडी को एक क्लास के लिए।
अच्छा, हाँ, तो पूरा सेमेस्टर ही चला सकते हैं। दैट्स ग्रेट। सो फिर बार बार जनरेट करने की जरूरत नहीं है।
Even the
मतलब
time changes.
एक क्लास के लिए एक आईडी हम जनरेट कर दें जो पूरे सेमेस्टर चलेगी।
विद्यासागर से, तो जैसे मतलब हमारे पास
जी।
5 सब्जेक्ट है, तो बस हम 5 आईडी बनानी है, वही
हाँ,
हर
5
पे
आईडी
चलेगी।
बना दीजिए, तो कंफ्यूजन नहीं होगा स्टूडेंट को भी कि बार बार आईडी चेंज हो रही है। वो फिर या तो
उस पे ही वो डेली ज्वाइन कर सकते हैं मतलब।
हाँ, उसी आईडी को सेव कर देगा उस क्लास के लिए।
हाँ,
ओके,
आपने क्या करना है, आप माई कैलेंडर में जाकर के गूगल में वहाँ पर मतलब जो आप क्रिएट करोगे तो इसको कर देना कंटिन्यूअस ऑल, ये पूरा साल भर के लिए चलेगा। फिर जब तक आप कंटिन्यू उसको डिलीट नहीं करोगे तब तक चलता रहेगा वो।
जब तक चलता रहेगा।
रोज टाइम
आप
change.
डेट सेलेक्ट कर सकते हो, मंडे वेडनेसडे टाइम भी सेलेक्ट करते हो, इस टाइम पे चलेगा ये सेम।
तो एक सब्जेक्ट जिस दिन लेक्चर है उस दिन मंडे ट्यूसडे वेडनेसडे है, तो वो 3 डेज यूज करके कंटिन्यू सॉल्व।
बस कंटिन्यूस ऑन कर दीजिए, वो क्लास हमेशा बच्चा उसी पे एंटर करेगा।
Okay, sir. चलो एक
Okay,
बात
thank
कंफर्म
you.
करके कैसे करना है इसके लिए आपसे, मतलब अगर डाउट आएगा तो ठीक है।
मंडे से क्लासेस कंफर्म है।
गूगल मीट के लिए जो है जिसको भी अगर लगता है तो विद्यासागर कैन बी द रिसोर्स पर्सन फॉर दैट। वो विद्यासागर ही ओनली
कोई नहीं, मुझे मुझसे कांटेक्ट करा नहीं, मैं बता दूंगा कैसे
हाँ।
करना है।
नहीं तो अलग अलग क्लासेस अलग अलग टाइमिंग में होगा तो वो हो जाता है क्या?
वो इशू नहीं है ना, स्टूडेंट
वो
सब
आप
शेयर कर देंगे, वो खुद
सेलेक्ट
उसी
हो
टाइम पे
जाता
आ
है, टाइम भी सिलेक्ट हो जाएगा, डेट भी सिलेक्ट हो जाएगा।
अच्छा, ठीक है सर, मैं आपसे बात करूंगा।
Consult Vidyasagar sir.
Okay.
Amish sir, there is one issue for first year class. We have to go on myclass.lpu.in.
हाँ, फर्स्ट ईयर और सेकंड ईयर।
So whether it is MTech first year or BTech first year, we have to go to the myclass.
both MTech and BTech first year they have to go
Yeah.
on the mic.
First year and second year both.
So for second year UG for UG second year also. I think for MTech we have do we have second year? Yeah, we have
Yes
second
sir,
year.
also for MTech
Both.
also first and
Both
second
first
year
year
both
and
have
second
to be
year,
taken.
whether it is BTech or MTech,
Yeah.
have to be taken through the
My
myclass.
class.
Yeah,
Yes, sir.
understood. It's
So
clearly understood.
whole MTech is through myclass.
हाँ, full MTech will be on my class and BTech first year and second year will be on my class.
So better we practice on myclass, sir,
नहीं,
instead of Google.
नहीं, उसमें मैंने बात करी थी तो इसमें ये था ना कि ये चूंकि मीटिंग के फॉर्म में था तो इसलिए मीटिंग के फॉर्म में मैंने पूछा था ये क्वेश्चन कि क्या हम इसमें मीटिंग भी कर सकते हैं, तो उन्होंने मना किया था कि आप इसमें मीटिंग मत करिएगा माई क्लास प्लेटफॉर्म पे। ठीक है, इसका
हाँ।
ये जो पर्पस है L0 लेक्चर का, ये पर्पस सिर्फ यही था कि हम बेसिकली कंटेंट को रिव्यू कर लें और उसके
हाँ।
ऑर्गेनाइजेशन को और उसके
That's okay.
ओरिएंटेशन
That's okay.
हाँ कर लें। बाकी
हाँ।
क्योंकि माई क्लास पे तो एक अलग ही लेवल का जो है आपको एक्सपर्टाइज चाहिए उसके
Okay.
लिए
It's a meeting come class.
ये तो मैंने फिर डोमेन पे मैंने सबको बोल दिया था कि आप
हाँ।
लोग डोमेन हेड्स को मैंने
Google
बोला
पे।
हुआ है कि आप लोग जो है इस पे डेमो क्लासेस करें
हाँ
डोमेन
जी,
लेवल पे।
हाँ
ठीक
जी।
है, तो डोमेन लेवल पे आप लोग अपनी अपनी जो है
हाँ,
अपने
वो कर रहे
डोमेन
हैं, कर रहे हैं,
हाँ।
वो कर रहे हैं।
माई क्लास के ऊपर आप लोग डेमो क्लासेस करें एक दूसरे के साथ ताकि सो दैट यू आर कंफर्टेबल व्हेन द सेशन
हाँ।
स्टार्ट्स, यू कंफर्टेबल विद दैट। तो ये डोमेन हेड की रिस्पांसिबिलिटी मैंने दी थी कि वो अपने डोमेन में डेमो क्लासेस करा ले सारी फैकल्टी की, ताकि किसी को कोई
These are being conducted. No issue.
बाकी ये तो जो L0
Okay.
था ये तो डॉक्टर लविराज से इंस्ट्रक्शन मिला था, तो दैट्स व्हाई वी आर डूइंग दिस एक्सरसाइज जस्ट टू एंश्योर दैट L0 लेक्चर गोज वेल, क्योंकि एक बार आपका L0 अच्छा चला गया तो बाकी फिर चीजें बाद में स्मूथ हो जाती हैं। दैट वाज द पर्पस। ठीक है, so I
Okay,
think
sir. Okay.
we can close this session and
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
at 3
Okay, sir, sure.
Okay,
Okay,
sir.
sir.
चलो ठीक
Thank
Okay,
you.
sir. Thank you.
And bye.
Okay, sir. Thank you.
ओके सर, थैंक यू।
हाँ मोनिका, एक चीज यार, गणेश
Yes, yes, sir.
हेलो।
Yes, sir.
अरे मोनिका को बोल देना कि ये जो रिकॉर्डिंग हुई है ना इसकी इसका यूट्यूब लिंक बना करके शेयर कर देगी हमारे साथ।
ओके
ठीक है?
ओके सर, यस सर।